Hi, this is Josh, and welcome to my live SHSAT math course. Um, Tonight, this class will be recorded for my YouTube channel and offered for free this school year 2023 to 2024. This is the math course that is offered at tutoring houses here in New York for the Scholastic High School Achievement Test that I've been developing personally for over 10 years. And this is lesson number 2 tonight, Number Sense Part 2. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to wait, give just a few minutes grace time to see if any students arrive. And remember that this will be recorded, and then we'll begin tonight's lesson. If you're watching the recording here on YouTube, then you can just scroll forward about 5 minutes and lesson will begin. Thank you. All right, so let's begin tonight's lesson. Welcome to JW2542. tutoring, and this is my SHSAT math course. To make as a quick introduction, I spent many years as a street performer and juggler. Before I returned to finish college, I took my money for earnings from juggling and performing and playing piano, and finished my college education, became a math teacher, and then a tutor, working here in New York City. And I'm now giving back to the community with these two classes online this year by donation. If you would like to donate, the recommended fee is $50 per lesson. You're on Venmo. I am Josh Wiener 10 on Venmo, and the QR code is here on this first slide of tonight's lesson. But pay as you like, if you do like, and if you're using the course to prepare for the exam, parents of 7th and 8th graders, you are welcome to it. But any donation that you can do as you go through the lesson set, you will find that they're very useful for preparing for this exam. Are appreciated. It took hundreds of hours, literally, over the years to develop and evolve this class into its current form. And I'm sharing 25 lessons of the courses here. The SHSAT math section focuses on middle school mathematics in algebra, geometry, the coordinate plane, charts and graphs, probability and statistics, and a few other math topics. What's a little unusual are the problem-solving questions that are more like puzzle books and logic books, and even mystery books that children can read in middle school to get the type of thinking that connects lessons in mathematics, like the mind of a STEM worker, science, technology, engineering, and math. So it prepares students for that type of problem solving and thinking. If you're interested in books, there are many well-known writers for middle school recreational mathematics, as well as in middle school, I competed in Manhattan Athletics, for example. And they have the AMC grade 8 exam I recommend for similar material for your child to get ready for the SHSAT. The SHSAT math section is 75 minutes total with 57 questions in its current form. There's 5 written questions followed by 52 multiple choice questions in mathematics. And here you're preparing with me. This is lesson number 2, number sense part 2. And tonight we'll go over a few more topics from pre-algebra and algebra, working with expressions and the order of operations, as well as properties of mathematics. If we move on here, you can see that my course is in its current form after about 10 years of working through the exam. I have 33 lessons, and I'm sharing online this year 25 of the lessons from this collection. And you can use them for your child as a checklist, or if you're the student working with this, you can use it as a checklist. Oh, I didn't learn about square roots yet, or oh, we're just starting to learn about the Pythagorean theorem, or angle relationships are being added more to the exam, or what's a two-way table, lesson number 24, etc. So each lesson helps you focus on a few questions of the 57 that are on the exam. And then by the time you go through the course sequence, you've gone through 95% of the problems that you will encounter on the SHSAT or more. Before we get to lesson number 2, which begins here with an introduction and the order of operations in pre-algebra and algebra, we'll begin like we do in class at the tutoring houses and schools with a warm-up quiz. Here I have 5 practice questions for you to try. 2 easy level, 2 mid-level, and 1 challenge level question here for the SHSAT. And what I have here for you is a Google form in this blue link, which I will also put in the chat window here for you to copy and paste. But if you're watching the video, make sure that you either type out or cut and paste that link there in blue, HTTPS, for the school form for the quiz number 2, 5 questions, 10 minutes. So what we'll do is now I will pause for 10 minutes, put on an online timer, And yes, if you would go right ahead and give them a try, these 5 questions, I'll see you in 10 minutes and we'll review each one and I'll do a step-by-step solution for you to solve it as well in less than 2 minutes per question. All right, so good luck and I'll see you guys in 10 minutes. Here we go with warm-up SHSAT quiz number 2. All right, so that is time for SHSAT quiz number 2. So please finish the problem that you're working on and make sure that you have an answer for all 5 questions. There is no penalty for guessing on the SHSAT. And then if you click the submit button at the bottom of the form, it should auto-grade it for you on the school computer. The next thing we're going to do is go over each of the questions one at a time, and I'll give you a solution that you too can do in less than 2 minutes. For question number 1, reads, x equals 5, and y is 2x minus 7. So first thing we have to do is compute the value of y, and we get that x equals 5, and then given that, y equals 3. Because it's 2 times 5, which is 10, minus 7. All right, so then what we're going to do is we're going to take our values for x and y and plug them into the equation above. So wherever there's an x here, I'll highlight that with a red pen, and we'll place the number 5. And then wherever there's a letter y, variable y, that's a placeholder for the value 3. So now we'll rewrite the expression with those variables in place. We get 12 times 5 plus 4 upon 5 plus 3. So the denominator is easy. 5 plus 3 is 8. And for the numerator, 12 times 5, you know your 12 times tables, that's 60. If you don't know your 12 times tables, you can multiply this factor by a half and multiply this one times 2, since a half times 2 will not change the final result. And watch this. A half of 12 is 6, and 5 times 2 is 10. So we know that that's 60. Plus 4. So we get 64 over 8, which is 8. The correct answer was C, 8. The expression as shown, when we plug in those values for x and y, will be 64 over 8, which is 8, and the correct answer is C. Question number 2. Anne jogs at a rate of 6 miles per hour. How far can she jog in 2 hours and 45 minutes? Well, let's make a clipboard for Anne, who's jogging, based on her time and distance. And we're given a unit rate for her. Well, we were told that in the paragraph, if she goes for 1 full hour, then she would go 6 miles. If we know that there's 60 minutes in an hour, so that's what I'll do. I'll rewrite that as 60 minutes. No, I'll write that as an hour. But then if we want just 30 minutes, that'd be a half an hour. So she'd go half that distance, or 3 miles at that case. And then if we want half that, then 15 minutes, she'll have traveled half 3 miles, or 1.5 miles. So if we want 2 hours and 45 minutes, well, here's the 45 minutes part. We can add 30 plus 15 to get 45 minutes. And then for hours, we have to do that twice. So in other words, what we'll have is, we'll have 12 miles for the 2 hours. This will do 2 times 6. And then these together are another 4.5 miles for those 45 minutes, for a total of 16.5 miles. So here I just used a clipboard and used the rows for the unit rate, half and quarter of an hour, and then calculated the correct answer, C, 16.5 miles, and could jog at that pace. All right, let's go to question number 3. Seymour has a rectangle picture frame that is 1.5 inches wide on all 4 sides, with an 8 by 10 picture frame held in the middle. wooden frame. How much area of the wood is needed for the picture frame? So we're going to draw the picture frame first. And then the wood frame that'll go around it has to be spaced 1.5 inches, like so. So this is an 8x10 photo. What we're going to do is we're going to, let's do the width first. We're going to go an additional 1.5 inches on the right and the left side. Okay, but the picture frame also will space out along the frame 1.5 inches on the top and bottom. So what I'll do is I'm going to slide those arrows. I'm going to move those arrows all the way to the top on the left and right. And then all the way to the top corner, to the corners, like a picture frame maker would. So what I mean is, and I guess I can just write it in. Since this is an additional 1.5, that's the extra amount of space up here. And then on this corner, 1.5. And here, 1.5. Higher than the 8x10 and 1.5 inches lower. All right, but we know that this is 8 inches. And we know that here, this is 10 inches. So between here and here, let me use a different color. Between here and here, this is 10 because it's 10 units high. But then we're adding an extra 1.5 above and 1.5 below. Here, this is 8, it's 8 inches across in width. So then we have an extra 1.5 on the left side and on the right side for the picture frame. So then what's the new total width and height of the picture plus frame? Well, 1.5 plus 1.5 is 3. So 8 plus 3 is 11. So we get 11. I'll sit that on top here. And then 10 plus 3 is 13. So the large wooden picture frame there, the outside larger rectangle is 11x13. The inside photo that it's being trimmed around is 8x10. So if we take the frame plus picture and then subtract the picture, we will get the frame area. That's the plan. So we're going to decompose the problem that way. So the frame and the picture is 11 times 13, which is 143. And the picture is 8 times 10, which is 80 units of area. And then 143 minus 80 is 63 units of area. Well, what? Area of the picture frame. So the amount of trim that goes around was 63 units. And the correct answer was A. A was correct, 63 units. All right, any questions on that decomposition? A lot of steps there, but if you stay organized, and actually if you draw it, it makes a lot more sense, I think. If you draw it, or if you're given a picture, it'd be much easier. So make sure you draw it yourself, following the instructions in question number 3, and correct answer was A. Question 4. How many 2x2x2 cube blocks will fit inside a box that is 4 inches long, 6 inches wide, and 8 inches tall? Well, maybe I'll draw like a 2x2x2 cube, like so. Here, I'll draw one 2x2x2 cube, like this. All right, and this will be like the cornerstone. This is our unit cube, but it's not 1x1x1, it's 2x2x2. So I'll color in one face, the front face. That's going to be 2 by 2, and it's also 2 units deep. But the box that we're going to start to stack these in, just to help you with this idea, and the length is not 2, but it's 4 units in this direction. It's 2, 4, 6 units along this edge. And then instead of 2, 4, 6, 8 units tall. So that's the idea, is that we're going to start to see how many we can pack into the box. Here, I'll draw the front face with the rectangle. All right, so there's it sitting in the corner. And then we're going to go back that distance. So now I can draw, do this one like this. Okay. And there it is. All right, but if you think about it, since this is 4 units, and this is 6 units, and this is 8, how many blocks can we then fit along this side if they're 2 each? Well, we can put one more block there, and then it'll fit, and that will be it for the length. 2, that's 2, and that's 2. So there's 2 blocks. And then along this side, we could fit in, 3 because they're 2 each. So 3 blocks. So maybe I'll just draw the bottom set of blocks if we were to pack them like we're packing a storage box. We could fit in, and it's not really drawn to scale because this isn't on like a 3D calculator, but you get the idea. 6 of the blocks would be packed on the first, and that would be at a height 2. But then we're going to put a second layer of 6, a third layer of 6. 4 blocks high. It's going to have 4 levels of these blocks. 4 blocks tall. And then we can just multiply length, width, and height. Well, by counting the blocks of 2 each, that'll be 2 times 3 times 4 layers, which is 24 total. The correct answer was B. Okay, again, you can, picture's worth 1,000 more, and in the last problem with Seymour, remember when we drew the picture frame? Same thing here with this 3D problem, this rectangular prism. Draw it, and then you can actually see, oh yeah, the first layer can hold 6 blocks or bricks, and we'll have 4 levels of blocks, 4 levels of cubes. Okay, so 24 total. Question 5. Betty picks apples at a rate of 20 apples every 30 minutes. Her friend Anne picks apples at a rate of 35 apples every 40 minutes. After 2 hours, how many more apples has Anne picked than her friend Betty? Well, for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to make another clipboard chart. Here's Anne, and here's Betty. And we'll put in the information as given. Anne can do 20 apples per 30 minutes. Let's write it down like that. And Betty can do 35 apples per 40 minutes. Okay, so we can scale that up. I guess using a proportion, maybe I'll draw it as a proportion. So 20 in 30 minutes. And then 2 hours would be 2 times 60 or 120 minutes. And those are the number of apples. So 30 times 4 is 120. And we'd have to multiply 20 by 4 will be 80 apples. Wait, that's Betty. I have it on the wrong side. Oh, I gotta erase it. Sorry, hold on. It's backwards. That was Betty's information. Betty does 20, picks up 20 apples in 30 minutes time. So then 120 would be 80 apples for Betty. Then going over to Anne, she can collect 35 apples in 40 minutes. And then also giving 2 hours of work. Well, that would be times 3, though. And then 35 times 3, 30, 60, 90 plus 5, 5, 5, 15, 105. So then comparing how many apples are collected by each lady. Here's Anne. Oops, wait. Here's her total, 105, and Betty is 80. So comparing the totals, here we go. 105 minus 80 is 25 more apples. That was question 5. So the correct answer was 25 apples. All right, any questions on number 5? All right, let's keep going. Okay, so that was the warm-up 5 questions, and what we're going to do now is go to the core lesson, number sense part 2, and I wrote here that the SHSAT exam is written with 57 math problems for students to solve. The mathematics section begins with 5 grading questions and follows with 52 multiple choice questions. This section, for the most part, has the questions ranged from easier to harder levels in math. It is important to become fast and accurate on the first half of the questions because the more difficult problems have yet to come. Time management is important for a good score in the SHSAT. The order of operations, or PEMDAS. The algebraic steps on the SHSAT follow the order of operations in mathematics. Problems are solved using the following order. First parentheses, then exponents, then multiply and divide, then add and subtract. It's useful to rewrite the expression or equation as you simplify and check your final result for any errors before choosing your final answer. Well, here's our study slide from the mini lesson on PEMDAS. And we're just going to do the first example. And as I mentioned on the last card, we're going to start here with parentheses. Here's our checklist of skills. And we're going to go down to exponents, multiply, divide, then add and subtract. Okay, and some teachers, they say, remember that when you're doing this, it's parentheses first, then exponents, multiply and divide from left to right as you encounter them, and add and subtract because they're really equivalent if you use the reciprocal or just work with the signs for the add and subtract. We'll get to that soon enough. Let's go to the first example, and I'll highlight it here in red. Okay, this is the expression is given that we're going to simplify. The first thing we have to do is we have to look at the entire problem as written, the math sentence, from left to right, and we're going to start this checklist with parentheses. Okay, so going through the from starting here on the left, highlight. Here's a parentheses we need to do the math operation, and also with this parentheses, there's 2 places. And you can see the writer correctly did 15 minus 2 is 13. And 4 divided by 12 is a third. Now we've completed the step for parentheses. Done. The next thing we do is we look at it's written on the next line of paper. Look for any exponents that we can encounter. And there is one. I'll use a contrasting color so you can really see this. There it is. 3 squared is the exponent, which is worked out as 9. Everything else in the math sentence there is the same. 2 times 13 divided by 4 plus 9 times a third minus 1.5. So now exponents have been solved. The next thing we'll do is we're going to go through and look for multiply and divide. And here, because I want to see it in a different color, I'll use orange, multiply and divide. Wait, I use orange for exponents. Hold on, we'll use green. Okay, so we have to do multiply first here. And then we have to do the divide second. But we have to do the multiply step here. All right, so let's do that. Let's do that first then. And you can see the writer did that. 2 times 13 is 26, which will then be divided by 4. And 9 times a third, yeah, they properly did that. It will be 3. and then left all the other operations in place. That works too. Yeah, okay, so the multipliers are done. So now we're going to go back to the beginning and do the division steps, and you can see that, yes, 26 divided by 4 is indeed 6.5. And then we're going to add 3 and subtract 1.5. And finishing up, we get 6.5 plus 3 is 9.5. And then subtracting 1.5, the final answer is 8. So this math sentence simplifies to the value 8 using PEMDAS. Okay, on the left side, you can see what's often taught in to middle school students to learn this these steps. PEMDAS is you can use the mnemonic device to remember that it's please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, which is a fast way of remembering the initials for parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, and subtract. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. I went to school in Chinatown, New York at PS 124, Astor Program for Gifted Children. And there, I guess in 5th grade or so, we used pandas eat mustard dumplings and applesauce when we started with our pre-algebra. So we all would chant pandas eat mustard dumpling and applesauce. And then we'd remember P for pandas, EMDAS. And that's to memorize the steps again in math. So that you too also can work with problems in math and science. All right, so there it is, order of operations. All right, the next thing we're going to go over are review a few of the properties of algebra. So the algebra on the SHSAT also tests your knowledge of the laws of math. These include the distributive, commutative, associative, identity, and inverse properties of math. For example, it is important to know that a number plus 0 is still the same number. It's saying that 0 is the identity for the addition operation. Also, a plus negative a equals 0 is saying that negative a is the additive inverse of a. Let's look at a few examples. Let's see. Wait, these aren't, oh, that's the, all right. So it starts with 3 important properties. First one is distributive. The second is commutative. And finally, the associative property. And you should be familiar with these. If we have A times B plus C, we could also rewrite that as A times B plus A times C. Here I use the arrows to show you the distribution. And this works in this example, 3 times 7 is 21, 3 times 4 is 12. So 21 plus 12 is 33. It's the same as 3 times 11. It also works over subtraction. For example, A times B minus C is the same as AB minus AC, distributing in the amount A. So if you have 9 times 11 minus 2, we can do, started with 99 and subtract 18, that's 81, which is the same as 9 times 9. For the commutative property, remember that with 2 of the operations, order does not matter. In other words, we can see that A plus B will be the same amount as B plus A. Here it's in like in reverse, right? Here the A is here. And here A times B is the same quantity as B times A. So for example, 3 plus 5 is the same as 5 plus 3. If I walk 3 blocks to the stoplight and 5 more blocks to school, that's the same as 5 blocks back to that stoplight and then 3 blocks home. Okay, and 6 times 4 is the same amount of area as 4 by 6. For the associative property, A plus B plus C equals A plus B plus C. For example, if we have 3 friends, Ann, Betty, and Charlie, and Ann and Betty are like, okay, I have $1, I have $7 for pizza, and then Charlie comes and says, I can put in another 5. That's the same as Ann says, I have $1 for pizza, and then Betty and Charlie say, well, we have $12 here, and it'll both be a total of 13. This also works for multiplication, the associative property. In the problem with the cubes into the rectangle storage block, rectangle storage prism, we had 2 times 3 times 4. So you could do 2 times 3 first, which is 6, times 4 is 24. Or you could do 3 times 4 first, which is 12, times 2 is also 24. Okay, so that was the associative property. And then, as mentioned earlier, identities are the quantities that don't change the value in an operation. For addition, a plus 0, we still have a. You have 22 cards plus 0, you still have 22 cards. Doesn't change the amount. And if you have 43 times 1, that's still 43. So for multiplication, the number 1 is the identity. Looking at the example of inverses, 17 plus minus 17 brings us to the identity number 0 for addition. It's the opposite of the same amount. 5 times a fifth brings us to the identity 1 for multiplication. So if we start with 5, we need to use the reciprocal 1/5, multiply them together, and that brings us to the identity number. All right, this is a very important idea. I'm going to highlight these very special numbers here. It's 0 for addition. And there it is. That's the identity. And then for multiplication, it is 1. Does not change the value. So if we're doing the inverse, we want to get back to the identity number 1. We have to use the reciprocal. Right. Now it's time for us to do some work with these types of number problems and puzzles. So this will test your knowledge of the 4 basic math operations, as well as exponents. Okay, and also your knowledge of fractions and decimals, which you learned in middle school. And it has a few word problems for the mid and challenge level questions. So each worksheet that I create for the tutoring house has 30 practice questions, but in the interest of time, because we have a 90-minute class, we just do half of them. So we're going to do 15 of the 30 practice questions. And again, tonight, it's an even numbered lesson number 2. So even numbered questions only for the classwork practice. All right, so what I'd like you to do is get a pen and paper ready. And you can click on the Google form link, which again, I will also put in the chat window for class. And you can pause the video to cut and paste the form link if you need it. And I'll also attach these form links to the YouTube channel in the description below. Okay, if you need links to these classwork, quiz classwork and homework forms. All right, so enjoy trying this. I'm going to set my timer now for 20 minutes. If I can do so. Oh, let me refresh. All right, so 20 minutes. All right, so it's set. So please begin the work on the 15 practice questions. And I'll see you guys in 20 minutes, and we'll go over a few select problems. And I'll also reveal the solution to all 30 questions so that you can study with them. If you're using this as your study plan for the SHSAT, I'll also share with you the link for the homework assignments. If you enroll in my actual class, we also have support videos and practice tests that go along with the course. And if you'd like access to those, again, I can offer to them. Just send me a private email. Maybe we can work out a negotiated deal if you'd like me to be a private tutor for an hour or two, and I can proctor and help you with the mock tests as you get ready for the Scholastic High School Achievement Test. All right, so good luck, and I'm starting in 20 minutes now, and I'll mute. So I will see you all in 20 minutes, and then we'll wrap up. We'll go over a few of the easy, mid, and challenge level questions, and then wrap up for tonight. Okay, so good luck on SHSAT classwork number 2. See you in 20 minutes. All right, so that was 20 minutes practice time, and what I'll do now is let's go to the classwork slides for the 30 questions. So the first 12 are from easy level. Then the next 6 are mid-level. And 19 to 24 are the challenge level questions. And then it continues with the grid-ins, as you can see here. So here are the correct answers for the questions. If you're working with the Google form, you can submit it and it should auto-grade it for you and tell which ones you were correct and incorrect. And since tonight we're doing even questions only, question 2 was B, question 4 was C, question 6 was B, question 8 was B, question 10 was C, question 12 was C, question 14 was E, question 16 was B, question 18 was A, question 20 was A, question 22 was D, question 24 was D, question 26 was 84, question 28 was 30, and question 30 was 4. What we'll do with our time remaining is let's go all the way back to the beginning, and I'm just going to pick a few problems for us to go over. And again, I'll give you a solution here in this YouTube recording if you're watching this for each question. Let's take a look at question number 2. So we're doing evens. And here we have denominators that are not the same. We have 2, 3, and 4 as our denominators. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write out the 2 times table. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 3 times table. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. No, didn't write them. 12, 15, 18, 21. 4 times table. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and so on. But when you want to compare and find the least common multiple on all 3 times tables, the fastest way is to use the largest number, because then you're skipping by the most. It has to be on all 3. So let's look at the first number, 4. Well, 4 is not on all 3 times tables. Okay, it's on this one, but it's not on the 3 times table. Also, 8 fails the test because 8 is only on the is not a multiple of 3, but we do have 12 is a winner. So 12 is here on the 4 times table, the 3 times table, and the 2 times table. And then what I'll do is I'll number these. This is times 1, times 2, times 3, times 4, times 5, and times 6. So we'll scale each one of these fractions up, rewriting them as 12ths. Then, so a half will be rewritten as 6/12. Well, because it's 6 times 2. And then for the third, well, we do have to do times 4. So that's got to be 4/12 for a third. And then we have to take away, well, a quarter, that's 3. We have to do times 3. So it must be 3/12. Then we have 10 minus 3, all 12ths. Right, 6 plus 4 is 10 minus 3, and the correct answer was 7/12. Any questions on number 2 was B, 7/12. So bravo if you got question number 2. All right, let's go to the next one. Question number 4 is a little bit tricky if you don't know the notation. So the bar above it means that it's a repeating decimal. So you should know that a third is 0.33333 forever and ever. 2/3 is also 0.666666 forever and ever. And 3/3 is 0.9999 forever and ever. But we write that as 1. But when you have a repeating decimal, you can write that as a shorter notation. Just put a bar over the repeating part. Here, it's just repeating every 1 digit. So it's good to know these landmark fractions in their repeating decimal form. A third is 0.3 bar. 2/3 is 0.6 bar. 3/3 is really literally just 1, because you have all three parts are present. All right, so student, ladies and gentlemen, we really have a third times a third, right? Because each of those is a third. So that's equal to 1/9. 1, put it here, divided by 9. 9 is bigger than 1, so we put a 0. 9 goes into 10 one time. Subtract 9, and we get 1 remainder. Bring down a 0. 9 goes into 10 one time. Subtract 9, you get a 1 left over every time. So it's going to be 0.11111 forever and ever. So that we write as 0.1 bar, because that's the repeating decimal, 0.1. The correct answer was C. Question number, let's see, is that it for the easy level? Let's do question number 12. All right, for question number 12, let's put on a calendar like for middle school. And then if this is Sunday, this is Monday, this is Tuesday, this is Wednesday, this is Thursday, this is Friday and Saturday. So this is Friday. Oops. This is Friday. That's not Friday. Saturday. This would be Sunday. Okay, now second. This would be M for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All right. So this is a standard calendar, right? If today is Friday, we'll be starting here. So you're starting here. Well, 1 day later will be Saturday. 2 days later will be Sunday, and so on. 3 days later, 4 days later, 5 days later, 6 days later, and a full week later, it will be Friday again. So you can keep going using like a calendar like this, but you already know that there's 7 days in a week. So you know that 14 days later, for example, it'll be Friday again. And then another 7 days will pass, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That'll be 21 days later. So we can count the days going through the calendar by doing the 7 times table. So let's get kind of close to 80 with the 7 times table. For example, 7 times 10 is, we continue down the 7 times table list, that's 70. So 70 days later has to be a Friday, because every multiple of 7 will be a Friday. Then that's, well, we want 80 days. So we know that the 77th day will also be a Friday. Well, that's kind of close to 80. So then just caution orange, let's slow down. And then let's start there. Right? So we're going down Friday, 77 days. Then just count up to 80 from there along the calendar. And you'll see that, oh yeah, that means that the next day will be the 78th day. That has to be a Saturday, then Sunday. And Monday, sure enough, is the 80th day. So if you chose Monday for question number 12, that was correct. Correct answer was C, Monday. All right, let's keep going here. And we're going into the mid-level questions. Let's pick a few more. 14 is a good one to do. Let's do 14. All right, 14 says, the mean or average of these three, 13, 17, and y is the same as the average of 8, 14, 3, and 3y. What is the value of y? We have 2 different sets. I'll highlight them in 2 different colors. We have this red set, which we can divide by its number of elements, but it's the same value as this blue set, which contains different elements inside of it, and we'll count the number of elements there. So here we go. So we have 13 plus 17 plus y. That's 3 things, so we divide it by 3 to get the average. That's equal to, wait, I want white chalk, so let's switch to chalk. 8 plus 14 plus 3 plus 3y upon 4 elements. We're going to divide by 4. So now, just in a group like terms here, and we're going to add the units, 3 and 17, and add these units. 13 plus 17 is indeed 30 plus y. And on the right side, that's 22, 23, 24, 25 plus 3y over 4. Right? Those have to be the same numerical value, the same mean or average. So when you have proportions, your teacher should have taught you in middle school. What does it mean when I say cross multiply or cross product? That means that for any fraction, the product of the diagonal here is the product of the second diagonal of the proportion. Product of the means is the product of the extremes. So here we go. So we have 4 times 30 plus y has to be the same as 3 times 25 plus 3y. If this is new, if you're in 7th grade, if cross multiplying is new, that's the skill that we're going to use after we set up a proportion. Right, so 2 equal fractions is a proportion, and we'll use the cross product. Okay, so this is the cross product. Right, so 4 times 30 plus y must be the same as 3 times 25 plus 3y. We have to distribute in the 4, and for this set, we have to do 3 times that set. So here we go. 4 times 30 is 120 plus 4y. And this is 3/4 is 75 cents. So 25, 25, 25. And 3 times 3 is 9y. Then you have to work with your pre-algebra and algebra skills of rebalancing. Okay, so let's do minus 4y on the left, minus 4y on the right. And then to save lines of paper, the smaller number is 75. Excuse me. So we're going to subtract 75. And then the 4y's cancel. 4y minus 4y is 0. 75 minus 75 is 0. And we have a new balance to write on the left side and the right side. On the left side, 120 minus 75 is, well, let's borrow, make that a 10, 5. 11 minus 7 is 4. 9 minus 4 is 5y. So 45 is 5y. Dividing by 5, 5's cancel, and 9 equals y. Okay, we're using our 4 operations on both sides of the equations to keep balance. So if we take away 4y on the left, we have to do the same thing on the right side. If we take away 75 units of numbers on the left, take away 75 units of the count on the right as well. Okay, to keep balance, because the equal sign means they're in balance. Then we can find that 9 was correct, and the correct answer was E for number 14. Let's check and make sure that that is the true balance number for these two sets. Do that quickly. Excuse me, and we have, put up a black card here. We have 13 plus 17 plus 9. If we average those 3 numbers divided by 3, must be the same as 8 plus 14 plus 3 plus 3 9s, 27, divided by 4. We already added these together, so 30 plus 9 over 3 has to be the same as 25 plus 27 over 4, and 39 divided by 3 is the same as 13. 52 divided by 4 is, well, they're both even, so that's 26 over 2, which is the same as 13 over 1. So that does achieve balance for the proportion. 9 was the correct value for y. All right, any questions on number 14? All right, let's keep going. Oh, we're running out of time here. I have to wrap up for this hour-and-a-half class. So last one. Let's see. All right, let's go over the idea of exponents. This is again from high school. You have to know that 2 to the first power is 2. 2 to the second power is 2 times 2, so that's 4. And 2 to the third power is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 4 times 2 is 8, and so on. So the number above it is the number of times you repeat it by multiplication. Near x is the multiplication symbol. Here, I'll put it as an asterisk, like we use in on the screen here. The star is multiply. That's 16, and so on. But the way you solve this problem is you're going to rewrite it 8 as 2 cubed equals 2 times 2 to the 2x plus 1. Now we have the same, you have to know a little bit about exponents here. So if exponents are new, remember this is 2 repeated 3 times. So it's 2 times 2 times 2, but we're repeating that thing inside there 3 times. So we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So we literally have that repeated 3 times. I can't stress this enough if you're learning about exponents. This thing is the base, and it's being repeated 3 times. It's a power to a power. So this is being repeated 3 times. So it's really 2 to the 3 times 3, or 9 powers of 2. So 2 to the 9 equals 2 to the 2x plus 1. And now that we have the same base written on the bottom, we can compare the exponent powers above. That means that 9 equals 2x plus 1. Subtract 1, subtract 1. 8 is 2x. And x equals, that's right, 4. So 4 was the correct answer to number 30. 8 to the third power is the same as 2 to the 2 times 4, 8 plus 1 is 9. Yeah, that works out. 8 cubed is the same as 2 to the 9. All right, so that's it for our review of the classwork. If you are interested in this class and would like to donate, please go to Venmo and donate to Josh Wiener 10 for more important math content for the SHSAT. And you are free to use these form links here at the end of class for tonight. This is JW2542. It's my SHSAT course. I'm sharing 25 lessons this year online on my YouTube channel. And the next class will be September 27th, 2023 at 7 p.m. Here are the Google form links, which I will leave open for public access to quiz 2, classwork 2, and homework number 2. And again, thank you for joining me here tonight. We'll conclude with, let me go back to the Wix slide. If you'd like to know more about me, I am a private tutor and work for the tutoring houses developing course content, good math classes such as this one. And here's my Wix website. You can see praise from parents. If you go to the homepage, I have prepared for the SHSAT, the tests for Catholic schools, the cooperative test, the high school placement test, PSAT, the SAT, the ACT, as well as AP exams in math and science, and college exams such as the graduate record exam. My students have been accepted into specialized high schools, Catholic schools, and received quarter, half, and full scholarships, as well as private schools of their choice, and as well as accepted into college programs and scholarship programs, graduate school, and even medical school programs. So thank you so much for hiring me as your personal tutor. I still enjoy tutoring, either online or in person, and working for the tutoring houses that have hired my services and been there year after year to help me develop this course. I'm sharing it now in its current form after going on 10 years now, working on these classes. So Tuesday night's SAT here on Zoom and YouTube. You can check out each class, as I will share them for free this year. And the SAT class in its current form, the SAT is going to change from 58 questions. It looks like next year online 44 questions. We shall see as they continue, as the educators make their final choices on the new form of the SAT. So thank you for being here with me tonight. Again, my name is Josh Wiener, and happy studying and good luck with your academic goals. And thank you. And again, that is the end of this class. If you have anything further, you can email me at JW2542@gmail.com. And if you would like to, yes, you can donate on Venmo to Josh Wiener 10. And this is the QR code. So thanks for joining me tonight or watching this YouTube video on SHSAT prep for you. So thank you, parents and children, for studying with me. Bye. Good night. Thank you.